So it was March of 2009, and we were in the middle of the process of coming to Tyler. And right as we were doing that, we found out that we were expecting, that you were expecting. And the weekend before we did our candidating, we found out that not only were we blessed, we were doubly blessed. And we were going to have twins as part of this whole process of leaving Dallas and leaving the corporate world and coming to Tyler to take a job in ministry. We moved and had one last fling where we decided to go to Florida on a family vacation. And it was the evening of June 27th, which is our anniversary.
Yeah.
And
I was 16 weeks pregnant at the time.
And you woke up in the middle of the night.
And my water had broken, and I knew that I was going into labor, and I knew that it was way too soon for that to happen.
Called the doctor, called the nurse, went to the first hospital we ran across, which was an emergency room in Destin, and went in, and they quickly saw us and did a sonogram and determined that one of the two babies had died. What they told us was that once labor starts, it doesn't stop, and that even though the other baby appeared to be healthy, that he would also soon be born, and that he was too early to make it as well.
The doctor said he had a 95% chance of dying. So we were given grief counseling and headed to the maternity ward upstairs, or to labor and delivery, to have both of our babies.
And so we didn't have a lot of reason to hope at that time, and they gave Sarina some drugs to slow things down so that the doctors could figure out what to do. Ultimately, she didn't go into labor after those drugs, and that gave the doctors time to consider, and they ultimately moved us to Pensacola. We had been on this path of what we thought was greater and greater obedience. We had heard God's call and we had accepted it, and we had interpreted the pregnancy as a sign of blessing and God's favor and encouragement in those steps. And then all of a sudden that blessing was removed. By God's providence, we landed at a hospital that specializes in delayed interval deliveries, where they deliver the one dead baby and then surgically and chemically stop the labor and try and delay the delivery of the second baby.
But I did have the choice. You know, the doctors explained the different options to me, and one of them was to have a D&C, to call the whole thing off, and to really give in to the hopelessness that I was tempted to feel and did feel at times. And the procedure that Fritz mentioned, the delayed interval delivery, was a very risky procedure. It was risky to me, and even if we decided to take on that risk, there was no guarantee. The odds were really still against the baby surviving.
And if he did survive, the chances were overwhelming that he'd have significant birth defects. And so we ultimately decided that we would try and save the life of the remaining baby. And so just 2 days after Sarina's water had broken, she delivered Joshua.
So we sent all of our kids home before the baby came. So we were removed from my family, from our children, and we are in Florida, kind of stranded here in this life and death battle, not really knowing what's going to happen.
Part of the process we went through was Sarina delivered a dead baby, and I didn't really have a category for holding a dead child. And so, I mean, you ask yourself questions, why does this happen? What could this baby have done to deserve this? What do we deserve? What did we do to deserve this?
And there was a point in time when we made the conscious choice to believe God, to believe what we knew about God, to believe in His sovereignty, to believe in His love, to still believe, to continue to believe that we'd been called to ministry, and to stop asking why me, and to start considering the question, why not me?